Welcome to the John Gill Podcast Show. And on this episode, we're super excited to have on a very special guest. He is a great friend of ours by the name of Carlos Buitrago. And just want to say thank you so much for being on the show.
Jonathan, thank you so much for having me here.
For
me,
sure.
it's a pleasure. I do not have experience doing interviewing before.
That's even better.
Yeah. I'm amazed that you contacted me for this. I was really surprised, but I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to ask me, and an open book.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole thing.
Sure.
Look, you have such great stories that I think like a lot of people are going to get inspired from. You were at the Chicago's largest Hispanic publication, right? That was the slogan that you gave it.
Yeah,
So
it was La Raza newspaper. La Raza means in Spanish the race.
the race.
It was created by a reporter back in the 1970s. A Puerto Rican guy. I don't remember his name by now, unfortunately. And then La Raza was sold to a Mexican guy, and from that Mexican guy, an Uruguayan person, Luis Rossi, which is the person that I work with,
Mm-hmm.
he bought it, and he started working with La Raza. That's when I met him. I came to Chicago in 1986 exactly. I came to Chicago from Colombia, and I am an accountant. I was an accountant, and I'm not doing accounting anymore. So I came to Chicago. I was a young guy. I'm going to be 62 years old, actually, this month. When I came to Chicago, I was 27. I didn't speak English. I came with a visa tourist here to Chicago. And honestly, I didn't come to stay in Chicago. My dad was here,
Mm-hmm.
and I came to visit him and to explore if there was a better fit for me here in this society.
Mm-hmm.
Which after like a month that I was in vacation from the company that I was working in Colombia, my dad showed me, he introduced me to a lot of people, a lot of friends. By that time, I was a single person. I didn't have pretty much, besides my mom and my sister, any ties in Colombia. So I took one of the hardest decisions in my life. I remember that was December 31st, 1986.
Oh wow, you have the date exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had the day, because that was before my life, what was my life before and was going to be after that day.
Wow.
That was the hardest decision. I remember I was looking at the ceiling in the apartment, and I say, God, why did you put me into this decision? Because I don't know what is going to happen. I do not know the city. I don't know the language. I don't have the legal papers to stay here. But I was young, full of dreams, and I took it away. And I say, a guy from Texas say, take it away.
Right.
So I did it, and I start from that point, and I start from there.
That's awesome. So you decided, okay, you decided, that's it. This is my new life. I'm going to stay here in Chicago. And what's next? That's whatever happens. That's just what it'll be. And then, so how did you end up getting to La Raza?
Like anybody else, I was looking for a job. And of course, I was an accountant. Unfortunately, on that area, I have good experience because I work in a lot of, in different areas of accounting.
Right.
So I knew accounting. So I started knocking doors to see if I can find a job. Unfortunately, like when you're new in I will say when you go to to a different country.
Yeah.
Let's say it this way, you have to pay a price.
That's right.
Yeah, because people ask me, yeah, you're an accountant. How come you're an accountant? Where did you study? How did you get to Chicago? So I was so 100% honest. No, I just came here with a visa. So immediately they say, no, this guy doesn't have papers. Do you speak English? No, I don't. So how are you going to be an accountant? And I say, I am an accountant. I know how to do numbers. Numbers are the same anywhere.
That's right,
So
yeah.
anyway, honestly, nobody gave me a job. So like after like 3 months knocking doors, my dad said, okay, Carlos, now we have to do something because you cannot stay here just looking for a job. We need to do something.
Right.
So he showed me to other people. I was going to be a mechanic, and I say, mechanic? I mean, that's so weird for me. But I say, okay, I'll be a mechanic.
Oh, so you actually...
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
So then he introduced me to another guy who offered me to put, I remember there was a play for the Colombian Kimball, and they made called, it was a dancing in a nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
A nightclub, and they offered me to put the music there.
Oh, like a DJ almost.
Like a DJ.
Yeah.
So
there.
I say, Carlos, you wanted to, I mean, a friend, he said, hey, I have this job. I'm not going to be here anymore because I'm going to be doing something else. Would you like to have my job? And I say, okay, fine, I'll have it. So
there it is.
I thought that I was going to be a DJ, but I wasn't. So then what I did is, there was another guy who offered me to deliver newspapers. So that one I took it. So I was delivering newspaper for a newspaper called Noticias del Mundo.
World News.
World News, yeah.
Okay.
That belonged to El Reverendo Munda, a person from, I think, from Japan. So I started working with them. They were trying to open...
He was Japanese and he had a Hispanic newspaper?
He was a Japan... I mean, he was the investor.
Oh, okay.
He was the investor.
Got it, yeah.
And some Hispanic people. It was like a religious thing. Okay. And they were using the newspapers. I don't know, not for a religious purpose, but they wanted to open that newspaper here in Chicago. They came from New York. But I knew the guy behind was El Reverendo Moon. So I started delivering that newspaper with a guy I remember from Colombia. He was from Medellin. And that's how I started working for the newspaper. So after a little while, my dad was delivering also newspaper for La Raza newspaper. And he went to Colombia and he said, Carlos, I'm going to go to Colombia. I need you to replace me here at La Raza, which I did. And I started delivering La Raza newspaper as well. But I kept knocking doors because I wanted to be an accountant.
Right.
That was my profession.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be an accountant. And one day down the road, like after like 3 months, the owner said, I heard you are an accountant. And I told him, yes, I am an accountant. Of course.
This is the owner.
That was the owner, Luis Rossi.
Okay.
The guy from Uruguay. He was at that time, he was here like for 15 years already, and he owns the newspaper. And he said, I need an accountant. And I said, here I am. I'm the guy. So he said, you speak English? I said, no, I don't speak English. I just got here. Do you have legal papers to work in the United States? No, I don't. I mean, I was so honest.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I was 100% honest. And he said, why don't you do this? Go and talk to the guy who does my numbers, the accounting number for me outside the company. His name was William Morales, a guy from Puerto Rico. So I went and I met with him. So he was an accountant. I was an accountant. So we were talking accounting things. And he said, yeah, you are an accountant. Yeah, you are. So he called the guy, Luis Rossi, and he told Luis Rossi, he's an accountant. I just spoke to him.
He vetted you. He was like trying to see if you knew your stuff. And
yeah,
afterwards,
exactly. So
it was like, okay, no, he does know his stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So he said, William Morales told him, yeah, he's an accountant. So then Luis Rossi replies to him, but he doesn't speak English. And William Morales told him, but you don't know, you do not need him to speak English. Right. You need him to make your numbers. You need him to make your financial statement. You need an accountant because you do not know where you are right now. You say you're making money, but you don't have. I mean, there is no cash flow in the company. We need to find out what is happening. And this is the guy.
Right.
So basically, the guy who opens the door for me here in Chicago was Mr. William Morales. That he happens to hear to this interview.
There
I
you go.
want to thank him for such that was more than 30 years ago, by
Wow.
the way. I want to thank him. He's been always a great friend of mine since that time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, because really, I mean, with his blessing, that was the ticket in. And then once you got in there, I mean, because one of the most interesting parts of the story that I've heard was you kind of looked at the company and you said, okay, this company isn't profitable or isn't making that much money yet, right? And you were able to kind of look at the books, go into the detail about how you dissected the company, and you were able to take it to that next level.
This is what happened when I started in the company. I mean, I came from a 100% Hispanic. So when I got there and I started working, what I used to read in Spanish changed abruptly to 100% in English. So I couldn't understand anything. I didn't know anything what it means. I mean, so to be honest, I was so worried because I didn't know the language, so I couldn't understand. But like looking at the papers, comparing everything, talking to people. So like 2 weeks down the road, I start to kind of finding out what was this mean. So I figured it out.
Right.
So I start from that point, and I start putting the numbers together, and after a little while, I said, because I was asking the people that what are the financial statements, so nobody was able to show me the financial statement. They showed me an account receivable book that they were calling the financial statement. And I said, these are not the financial statement. These are account receivable. This is an agent. That's all. But I need the financial. Who can show me the financial statement? Anyway, so I went back to Mr. Morales. He showed me he said, Carlos, no, don't worry. I have the financial statement. Let me show it to you. He showed it to me. Those financial statements were so back that I had to put the numbers together. That was like 2 years behind the whole numbers.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I say, how come I'm going to put, I mean.
So they were behind that far back.
They were behind like 2 years.
Oh my God. And that was like an actual large.
And the company wasn't really, to the present was, I mean, there was no money.
Yeah.
So people need to know the numbers to find out what was happening.
Of course, you have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, how I'm going to do this? I mean, the job was enormous because they were behind for so long. So if I had put those numbers together to today, by the time I find out, there was going to be no company.
Wow.
So I took a decision and I told the owner, listen, what we had to do is we had to work this company cash right now. We had to forget about accrual basis that is what is called in accounting. We had to do everything cash right now here. We need to work with cash.
Right.
Meaning, how much money we getting right now? How much money we getting per week right now? How much money we getting per month? And with that, I'm going to make a budget. I'm going to forget about the behind.
Right.
How long behind is the real numbers.
Right.
Because that's going to take me too long. I'm going to resolve that part, but we need to work with the present.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, we don't know exactly. So anyway, I did that. I did what is called in accounting a cash flow. And I put the numbers, the money that we were getting in, and how much we were spending. And when we crossed those numbers, we found out that the company, it was going to crash probably like in 2 months.
Wow,
That
that's
was the life
insane.
of the company for the next 2 months. That's all. If we would have continued on that pattern,
Yeah.
the company would have disappeared like in 2 months.
Wow.
So
Did he know that it was that bad to begin with? Or?
when I showed it to him,
Yeah.
yes, because I showed the cash. I say,
Of course.
listen, that's why you guys are bouncing so many checks because he was saying, hey, I'm selling this and I spending. He was counting how much he was selling in accrual basis. Accrual basis we call in accounting that you put the numbers into your financial statement when you do the sales, not when you collect the money.
Right, exactly.
So he was counting how much he was selling, and he was so proud of his sales. But the real truth is like out of the 100% that he was selling, he was collecting like 50% because the other 50% it was lost. It was friends that he was selling, a lot of favors. So the guy he was cheating himself.
Of course. Just
he was cheating himself.
It looked nice.
And he said, but I'm spending this. This is my payroll. This is how much I pay for printing. This is how much I'm paying for other expenses. So in his numbers, he was making money. Yeah. But in the real, he was losing money.
Yeah. The importance of accounting and actually looking at the cash basis, it's huge. That's almost like
you had to reconcile everything with your bank account.
That's like a broker counting, okay, I have like a few listings.
That's like a little store.
Yeah.
You're having a little store.
Right.
That's what people, that's a little store. I'm selling this, I'm spending this, I'm making this.
Right. Okay.
And one day they say, but where is the money? The money is in things that they are losing and they don't know.
Exactly. So then what was the next step after that? I mean, how did you get yourself out of that hole?
The next step after that is I told him we need to cut. We were like back then like 9 employees. I remember people doing the editorials, the art department. We have some people in selling displays and classifieds and another in circulation. So I told him we need to cut people here. I mean, unfortunately, that's what we had to do. If you want to keep your newspaper functioning, so we need to tie everything at the maximum in order to survive.
Right.
So we did that.
Mm-hmm.
So because we did that, I did have a lot of consequences with the people that was working at the newspaper because they say, how come this guy, he just came here, he doesn't speak English, he doesn't have no legal paper to work here in the United States, and he's making all these changes, and the owner is listening to him, and he's making all these changes. By the way, when I started working there was a manager, there was a lady from here, from what we call in our Spanish gringa.
Yeah.
She was a gringa. She spoke like 3 languages, French. He spoke perfect Hispanic, I remember, and of course English. But she didn't know anything about administration, and Mr. Rossi was paying her good money. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she couldn't handle the newspaper. She left. So the newspaper didn't have a manager. Mm. So he didn't look for a manager after when I was doing the numbers, because honestly, he didn't have the money to pay a manager. He didn't have the money to pay any manager.
Right, because you saw the numbers, so you know what
the numbers. And I said, you hardly can have a bookkeeper here.
Right. Oh, my God.
So the newspaper didn't have a manager. And as I told you, I have a lot of consequences. So they called me the immigration department. The immigration department gave me a call. What are you doing there? What are you working there?
Oh, so one of the employees you think called immigration?
Somebody. To this point, I don't know who was it.
Wow.
So
someone that probably got fired must have called. But anyway, who knows? It's a mystery.
Yeah, it's a mystery. So what I did is I had to leave the building. I remember I crawled to the walls and I left. And the owner,
oh my gosh.
I called Rossi, and Rossi said, don't worry, stay like a couple of weeks away and I'll see how can I handle this. And then you come back. I'm going to talk to my lawyer to see how can we fix your situation so you can stay here?
Nice.
So he supported me 100%.
That's awesome.
So I remember we went to the lawyer, and also he did like a contract, and he filled out some paper with immigration, but I couldn't get the paper that way. I remember. So I kept working. Nobody else was calling me from immigration, but they went to look for me one day at the immigration department. So they called my father was here. He came back and he was delivering the newspaper. So they caught my father. So they arrested him, and my father was deported over to Colombia.
Wow.
So that was the price that we paid. So I kept working at the newspaper. My father said, because I paid a bond for my father, he got out. But he said, no, I'm not going to stay here illegal, hiding from the authorities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Colombia. You stay here, you jump. So make a future for yourself here.
Right.
And
that's what you did, yeah.
So I stayed here. And one day, when I was looking at the people, the people, because they were there, the people that was working at the newspaper, they were there for some time. And I said, these people, the only thing that they know is English, but they don't know anything about administration because they were making so many mistakes. So that they were jeopardizing the operation of the newspaper. So we were basically, because of the mistake, we were throwing the money to the garbage. So what I did is I make an audit for like each person. I put a file together. And one day we have a meeting. I make a meeting with the owner, because these people, I mean, they were respecting me by that time.
Right.
Because they couldn't believe that
you were making all those decisions. And
I was making the new decision. The new guy that came in town, and we were making a lot of decisions that it was changing their lives.
Of course.
So I made a meeting, and I showed in front of the owner to each person the mistake that they were making. I proved to them with papers.
Oh my gosh.
I remember I said, Edith, you're working in classify, for example. You made this classify with the art department. And in order for us to collect this classify, we had to polish that classify for 3 weeks in a row. So meaning we lost 2 times.
Wow.
Example, we sold the classify for $5 or $10.
Right.
And you had to redo the classify for like 3 times until you made the classify good. That's totally wrong. And it wasn't just one, it was a lot. And I show her papers in front of her face to the owner. And I did that with each position.
Wow.
So these people, they were just like...
pissed. They were pissed off.
They were pissed off, and they were, so amazed.
Yeah, they couldn't believe that you had the audacity to do that. Yeah. But that's great that what you did, I mean, you essentially go into a company, and then you end up auditing.
If I would have not done that, it would have been no company.
Right. You basically took the
so
you saved it.
That day, I remember I hit, because honestly, I got so like, I got into a lot of heat in that meeting. So I hit the table and I told the people, are you guys going to, from now on, and I'm saying here this in front of the owner, I said, you guys will respect me doing my job?
Yeah.
I don't speak English. I do not have legal papers to work in the United States. But I will leave this company if you guys don't respect me, and I will do something else outside.
Yeah, you made yourself respected.
Exactly. So they were all quiet. And the owner, like an hour after, he called me and he said, you know what? I was looking for a general manager, but I do not need to look for a general manager. I already have it here. You are the general manager.
That's
So he
awesome.
gave me, so he told me, I'm giving you 100% of my support. From now on, you manage the newspaper
That's awesome.
and you take it from here, and we work together.
I mean,
And I'm
look,
going to be standing behind you. Anything that happens, I'm here. I'll support you.
wow.
So that's how I became the general manager of La Raza. It took me like 1 year since the time that I got here to Chicago.
Wow.
No English and no papers.
That's amazing. That's a story. I mean, that's the whole point, you know. You come into the country, you don't know what you're going to do, but you know, you had the experience, thank God. I mean, that served you well. But, you know, it's opening doors. You went from literally delivering the newspaper to becoming the general manager of the largest Hispanic news publication,
But we made it. I mean, because in that time
and you saved.
it wasn't the largest. It was just a small newspaper. I remember the newspaper back in those days have 24 pages,
Yeah.
and we were distributing 7,000 newspaper free. So when I left the company, I mean, I did create a lot of things. I stayed there for 10 years as a general manager, and I made huge changes. The first changes that I make, I remember I introduced the first computer to La Raza, which was a computer that I bought it with my own money. I have a car in Colombia. I sold that car. I got that money here in Chicago, and I bought a computer because I thought that I was going to make, some accounting stuff on the side to make more money. I was making $6.25 when I started as a general manager. That's what I was making as a bookkeeper. And I said, I need to make some more money because I got engaged with a girl, my fiancée back in those days. She got pregnant, so here I was into a family. So I need more money, of course. So I brought that computer over to La Raza, and I designed, the first thing that I did design was a program to do the billing.
Okay.
And I create the login. When I create that, I'm not a programmer, so I hired a programmer to do the program for the billing. I showed him I need this, and that, and he did it. I remember it was in a program called Parados. So he did it. We create the billing. We create a program to do the billing, and at the same time to put the contract from the salespeople to send it to the art department, to the production, so they were able to design the newspaper. Okay, I create the
Yes, you created basically the billing system, and through that's where you came up with the slogan.
Yeah, I came up
La
with the
Raza.
slogan, exactly, and that was working so well. So we start picking up more money, and we start from growing. When I started with La Raza, we were selling, the newspaper was selling $350,000 a year. So we start from that point and losing money. From that point, we made the cheap float, and we start climbing little by little, little by little. So we got out of the losing pattern, and we start making money. I put the accounting numbers today, so I was able to see exactly what was going on. So I remember the profit was little, but it was safe. We were safe. We were making, out of the revenue and expenses, we were making like 5%. I remember we started making like 5%. Then we went to like 10 and 15% profit in the entire business. So when I left La Raza, we were selling 3.5 millions. Okay. We were from 7 employees to 80 employees.
Wow.
We went from 24 pages to 100 pages.
Wow.
It was a weekly newspaper. Another good project that I developed there was the distribution. I got into the distribution system. And I remember the Chicago Sun-Times and the Chicago Tribune, they are used to, I think even up to today, they are used to sell the newspapers through a coin boxes. So I saw one coin box in front of the newspaper for the Chicago Tribune, and I told the owner, "Oh, what would be nice for us to sell our newspaper in those coin boxes?" And he saw me and he said, "Carlos, you gotta be crazy. How
Yeah.
come you think we're going to do that?" And I thought, "Why am I crazy? Because I mean, just very easy. Just buy one box and
And
start
put the
from,
newspapers
yeah,
inside.
put the newspapers in
Yeah.
there, find out where they sell it, and let's put the newspaper. I mean, even though it's one box, let's start with
Right.
one box." So because he gave me a lot of decision power,
Mm-hmm.
I went and I bought a box. I went to one of those boxes for the Chicago Tribune, and on the back of the head of the those coin boxes, it says the company is called Show Rack, and they sell those boxes in China, Texas. So I called. I didn't call myself. I always have a translator, somebody that was able to speak English for me. So somebody called, find out one of those boxes back in those days cost like $600.
Oh, they're
So
not
I
cheap.
bought one.
Wow.
I bought one. They cheat me that bus over to here to the newspaper. I bought one.
600.
Yeah, I paid
God.
back in those days. I don't know how much it costs now.
Seems expensive for those machines. I mean, you'd have to sell.
And you're talking about 30 years ago.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We're talking about 30 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So
But at least you ended up getting your
I got
first one.
And
That
I
was
put
it.
the sign La Raza, and I put that bus in front of the newspaper,
Uh-huh.
and I start watching through the window. I put the paper in the front,
Yeah.
and and there was people passing by, of course Hispanic people, and they stop at the box reading the front page. And I said, that guy is going to put the coin. That guy is going to. I was watching the people. He's going to put the coin. He's going to put it. And he put it.
Oh, that must have been the best feeling in the world. The best, right?
The best. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you go from, an idea to realization.
Exactly. So people, they were getting used to purchase the newspaper, put in 25 cents. And I said, yeah, we can sell this newspaper, because we were giving the circulation of the newspaper, we were giving it away
for free.
For free.
Yeah, making money on the advertising, really. That's where.
Yeah, we were making money on the advertising.
Right. And then you said.
So I figured it out. In order for us to increase the revenues of the newspaper, we need to sell the publication. That was a need. So I start thinking about it. How can I do this? And I say, I had to buy more coin boxes. And Luis Rossi, he said, Carlos, you are crazy. I mean, that's impossible. And I say, why?
Right.
So I have a good friend. I mean, there was somebody that came to the publication. His name was Mike Johnson, a guy from San Pedro Sula. He was from San Pedro Sula in Honduras. He was raised in New York, and he spoke perfectly the both languages, Hispanic and English. And he was, the greatest salesperson in the world.
Yeah.
And we start forming really, a great team between sales. He as a sales manager, I as a
general manager.
General manager, and we have also the production department. So everything started. The whole newspaper, we became
the dream team.
The dream team.
Wow.
The dream team. We became. I used to say we became the Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, that's right. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. Right.
Yeah, because we were making. We were making a good. A good job.
Yeah.
We were making a wonderful product. But our product was giving it away.
Right.
We were giving it for free.
Wow.
So I say, we need to change this. And I start working on that. and I did all the research and everything. I got some 100 coin boxes. I went to Kansas City myself to a publication called Sun Publication. They went out of business, and I bought 100 coin boxes like for $10,000. They sold it to me.
Wow.
I flew there, and I came in a U-Haul truck.
How did you even know that that was available? You just kind
No,
of
Mike Johnson, who was the sales manager, he did find that out.
Okay, that there was a company that had,
There was a
nice.
company. Carlos, I found out through the National Association of Publication that there was a company. A publication went out of business. They have 100 coin boxes.
Wow.
Are you in? We should buy it. And they said, let's go and buy it. So we went and bought it. Mm-hmm. And I brought 100 coin boxes on a truck, driving it by myself and another guy from circulation, Mr. Galo Aski, I remember.
That's insane. And okay, so you finally ended up showing up now with 100. You see, it's crazy how things start to escalate and compound, you know?
Yeah.
And get bigger and bigger.
From 1 to 100.
Yeah.
Then those 100 were not enough because I put some coin boxes in the city, and I start finding out more things when I start putting those coin boxes in the corners, because then I got in trouble with the people from Chicago Sun-Times and from the Chicago Tribune. I went to the city of Chicago to see if I need a special permit to put those coin boxes on the street. And I did find out that not even the Chicago Tribune, not even the Sun-Times, not even any newspaper in the United States have a permit to put those coin boxes. I mean, and I say, and I ask why. They say because that's part of the Second Amendment of our Constitution, the freedom of speech.
Of course.
So nobody can tell a newspaper not to put a coin box on the street. And I said, oh, then if they are doing it, I can do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I went and I go ahead. So I became, I start putting those coin boxes on the street. And then I have problem with the people that distribute the Chicago Tribune and Sun-Times because they didn't want me to put my coin box next to them. So they start with a hammer and destroying my boxes.
Wow. What was it, like a union almost? I don't know. It was just a gang, almost like a little mafia.
Exactly, a mafia. Yeah. It's called La Mafia del Centavo.
Oh, the English translation is the penny mafia.
The penny mafia, exactly. So
do you think that, I mean, could it have been that there were people at these bigger, publications that said, hey, take down this competitor?
I know there was dealers because the Chicago Tribune and the Sun-Times, they were giving their newspaper to dealers. That's how they call it, dealers.
Oh, okay.
So those dealers, because they were making money out of those coin boxes,
I see.
If there was another competitor coming, they said, that's going to be less money for us.
Oh, I see.
So they start hitting my boxes, and I fix it, and I put it until they got bored of destroying my boxes. So they accepted.
Wow. How many would you say that they destroyed?
Probably like out of the 100, I would say probably 20.
Wow. Okay. So they were trying to make a message. Yeah.
But they got bored. I mean,
because
I kept doing it with my people, fixing, and I'm bringing another
tenacity.
Exactly.
Just keep going. Yeah.
And those 100 coin boxes. So then we figured it out that we need more coin boxes, but we didn't have. I mean, there was no more publications that were selling coin boxes at that time. So I had to buy a new coin box was like $600. We didn't have the money. So I remember there was a newspaper here in Chicago. It was called the National Sport Daily. I don't know. You remember? No.
I don't recall that.
No, you don't recall
the National
that.
Sport Daily, no.
Yeah, people probably recall, people my age. So they went out of business. That was a publication all around United States. So they have thousands of coin boxes they were selling. So I went here on the south, and I found out who got the boxes, and they sold me 1,000 boxes. We make a loan. We present the project to a bank. They lend us the money.
Huh.
I remember 120,000. So I went and I bought those coin boxes.
Wow.
So with 1,000 boxes, I went all over the city. I distributed those coin boxes. People probably remember the coin boxes were yellow. It said La Raza. When I bought the coin boxes from the National Sport Daily, they were yellow. So I say, I'm going to keep the color.
Of course.
Because for me to change it, it was too much money. So I kept that color, even though our color was blue. So I said, leave that color. We don't have money to change the color.
Right.
So we just put the La Raza sign. I went disseminate, not myself, with a lot of people, because I had to hire people to do that job, and also trucks. And we disseminate all those 1,000 coin boxes around the whole Chicago.
That's insane. And
that was a big hit that brought the newspaper out. I mean, everybody started
seeing it everywhere.
Raza, seeing it everywhere.
Right.
Like we were the Chicago Tribune on some time.
Of course.
And of course, that brought our revenues in advertising more, because everybody was seeing La Raza.
Of course.
And also we did a networking with the Channel 44 and Channel 66, and with the old radios, with the old Hispanic radio station. So everybody knew La Raza. So La Raza was the most important publication for the Chicago Hispanic here in Chicago.
Wow.
It was just amazing.
So that's, again, you just to recap on all of this, because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's a lot.
I love stories where just amazing things happen out of
an idea.
You know, and really that's exactly what it was. You took, and not just that, but you can see something and you see value in it. You saw that there was, there's a news publication, it's failing. You said, okay, here, this is the solution. We're going to have to, and this is for anyone who's listening. The program, again, is for entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And Jonathan, there is also something important.
Yeah.
I saw the newspaper was falling, but it was my only chance. That's very important. It was my only chance of, if I would have not make it, I would have failed myself.
Right.
I would have had to do something else.
Right. Exactly.
Probably go and wash dishes.
Right.
But I was working on my own career, and it was my opportunity. So I say, I need to make this thing work. I didn't have a choice, put it that way.
Wow.
So I concentrate all my, my mind.
Right. Focus, dedicated focus. Yeah.
100%.
That's actually one of the laws of success we talk about here.
I mean, I focus my entire body, my entire mind was on that newspaper. That newspaper was my life back in those days, because that's how I was making a living. That's how I was bringing the money over to my family, and helping my family. And down the road, the owner, I remember, I mean, of course, I got to one point that I got to make money, because he saw the effort. He said, Carlos, you pay me this, you do this. And he said it in this word. I don't know if he really meant that, but he said it, and do whatever you want to do with the rest of the money. So the only thing that he saw was that his publication went up so much.
Yeah.
His business went up. And we have a good living out of the company. He has another company, by the way. Mr. Rossi has an advertising company. So he was handling the advertising company, and I was handling the newspaper.
Oh, I see.
That's how we were working, because he couldn't handle both business.
Of course.
He said, you get in charge of the newspaper, and I'm going to get in charge of the advertising agency. And that's how we did it. And we make a great team.
That's amazing. So what happened with La Raza? Let's talk about, didn't it ended up selling?
No, let me tell you before that, there was another guy who came to the business, who was Mr. Robert Armband. He became the associated publisher when I was there, into the third or fourth year. And he's still, He was one of the greatest salesperson, and he made La Raza grow with a lot of English selling people.
Mm.
So he direct that department, and he was a key also that the revenues in advertising grew up so much.
Mm.
So as I told you, we were like the Bulls team.
Yeah.
We did a great team, a great team.
Of course, of course.
And what happened to La Raza down the road? After like 10 years for me working on La Raza, I pretty much did everything what I could. I was in my 30s to 40 years old. So I gained a lot of, I would say, a lot of maturity.
Yeah.
So I say, no, it's time for me to, because there was nothing else for me to create a La Raza. I did everything that I had to create.
Was created.
It was created. And as I was telling you when I came here, my mind, that's the way I was made. And still today, I'm creating things.
Yeah, that's right.
So my mind has to be all the time. I'm probably crazy. I don't know if people is crazy like me, but I had to be creating things. That's what I left accounting, because accounting is a profit and loss. You sell 100, you spend 60, and you got left in profit 40.
Right.
So accounting it's always the same. Once you know it, when you fix it all, it's the same financial statement, administration. Yeah, it was the same for me in La Raza. We got to 8 employees. I got so tired. Everything was the same. And I got to tell you, I was making good money.
Mm.
So I say, but I lost the passion to keep working as a general manager for La Raza. And I say, no, I don't like this. I need to reinvent myself.
Mm.
So I quit La Raza. The owner said, Carlos, why you want to leave? And I told him, I want to leave honestly because I'm tired. I'm bored working with La Raza.
Wow. And
I say, why? And I told him, because, no, to me, it's always the same. It's always the same. I know everything already. There is nothing me anymore to improve here. This was my laboratory, but I don't find
any more projects. It's all been
any more projects.
Yeah.
And honestly, and I told him I want to be the president.
Mm.
But you are the president.
Mm.
And I want to be in your position, honestly. I was honest with him.
Yeah.
So in order for me to be the president of my own shop, I had to go out and find out something that I can be able to do. But when I told him, honestly, I was starting another project. Mm-hmm. It was in mortgages. So I was taking a look into that on my own. So I said, I think that I can do that.
And that's
so I became a salesperson. I resigned La Raza. I left La Raza. And I said, with what I was making, and I say, if I make half, I'm going to be able to make a living myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to explore sales. And I became a loan officer. I went for a company. I got trained myself. And I went from doing administration to be just a regular salesperson. Mm-hmm. A lot of people told me that I was crazy, that I shouldn't do that how come that I was the manager. I was going to be just a simple salesperson. Mm-hmm. And I remember I told the people, listen, I'm still young.
Yeah, that's right.
I still have blood. I need to explore something else. And I wanted to be independent 100%. I know these people that had treated me so well, but I wanted to have something that I can decide it. I wanted to be the head. Honestly, that was my idea back in those days.
Yeah.
And I went into being a loan officer, and down the road, being a loan officer, I was able to put my own mortgage company.
That's right.
I established my own mortgage company, which I have until 2007, when the whole market melted down.
Yeah.
That's another story.
That's another story.
But La Raza, the question that you asked me, what happened with La Raza? A lot of people ask me, what happened with La Raza? Because La Raza, Mr. Rossi sold La Raza 5 years down the road after I left. He got a good money for the Raza. And then somebody from California bought La Raza. And La Raza pretty much up to now disappeared. It dies. I think this is still, I saw the last time that I saw it, it has like 20 pages. La Raza did die. And people ask me, why La Raza died? And I say, that's very simple, because I'm not there. I mean, probably that's very arrogant to say,
No,
but what happened is I was pouring my whole heart into La Raza.
life, heart, and soul.
I was, exactly. I wasn't doing it just for, of course I had to make a living.
So you're right. It's not arrogant to say that, because it's true. If you were not there, I mean, if you were there, it'd probably still be alive.
Yeah. And other reason that I decided to leave La Raza was because it came in my mind that I didn't want to make La Raza. La Raza was a weekly newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And we got so many, how you say, prizes.
Yeah.
From the governor, from the city of Chicago, from the National Association of Hispanic Publications. We were on the top of the publications in the Hispanic publication around the United States. We also make a business, I remember, with the Chicago Sun-Times, where we became, we make a partner with the Chicago Sun-Times as La Raza. It didn't work out because they sold the Sun-Times, I remember. Anyway, no, because there was another newspaper, El Extra. They got involved also with the Chicago Sun-Times. Anyway, that business didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, and I put all my passion in that newspaper, my whole mind, my whole life, because I remember my daughter used to say, "Daddy, honestly, I grew up, but I didn't see you here because you were always in parade. You were always in VIP party. You were with the governor, with the mayor, with the politicians. You were everywhere with La Raza. I was traveling with La Raza. So I spent a lot of time. I really did it with a lot of, as I said,
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I describe life. When you do whatever you do in life, it doesn't matter what it is. You have to do it with passion. Yeah. That's the key in life, to do anything that you're doing. You have to do it with love, focus, and with a goal. Because you don't have that, honestly, you don't know where you're going.
That's right.
You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're heading. See what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you need to have a dream, but to make work that dream, you need to put action.
Yeah. Because
ideas, I had run into a lot of people full of wonderful ideas. But if you don't work on the idea is not going to work by itself.
That's right.
Yeah. And in life, you're going to have a lot of failings or falling.
Yeah, failures.
But the important is not the failure. The important is what you learn, and you're going to, if you have a failure, so next time you said, I won't do this because I'm going to fail doing this.
Yeah, it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
It's not a failure, it's a lesson learned.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I see. And the same with the money. Sometimes you have a lot of money. You lost money doing business. It happens to me.
It's a roller coaster. Life's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's it. And business too. And with that, I want to say, I can't thank you enough for being on the show.
No, it's been a great pleasure.
It's such an amazing message of just, having the imagination, acting on it, and actually, realizing your goals,
the dream back in those days.
Yeah.
And I am still doing it.
And the importance of focus too. I mean, I always bring this up in different podcasts, but we actually have a book that we talk about. It's called The Law of Success. It's the 15 key principles of success. And everything that you described, again, and actually with some of the other guests that have been also shared these amazing stories, just as like yours, they have something in common, which is they share a lot of the same traits of the law of success, a lot of the key principles: imagination, definite chief aim, accurate thought, concentration,
Focus.
and focus, yeah, and failure too, and it's gonna happen. So
That's part of success.
yeah, it's it. So, but Carlos, man, thank you so much for being on the show, and it's been a pleasure. So
Thanks for having me.
yeah.
Pleasure.
All right. Well, thanks again. And if you like what you heard, as always, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you on the next episode.